Welcome to Botches Off-Road. Join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tent camping to rock landing, and all things to do with the outdoors. Welcome. This is a new year, new botches,
new season.
New season, and we're gonna just kind of kick it off pretty relaxed. We're gonna do an episode here on the poker run. And well, that's going to be before, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll come out.
That'll drop before. So this is actually like you're going to hear this and be like, "Well, duh, you already came out with it." But I keep forgetting that just because we're recording it before doesn't mean it's actually going to drop before. Silly me.
Yeah.
But I guess we're just going to do a quick chat. We've been kind of chatting it up anyway and talking about or whatever upgrades we plan on doing or buy our newest buys. Christmas was just around the corner here, and we all got some goodies here and there.
Oh, I got no goodies for the truck.
Well, technically, you just got some goodies for the truck.
You count an oil change as one.
Yeah, that was needed and a goodie.
Yeah, but I had to pay for all of it.
Yeah, well, I get that. Well, I would still consider that a Christmas present, just not for you, for your truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's fair. So
and a new wheel bearing.
There you go. So well, I guess we'll start with Alex then. So what's your truck? Does your truck have a name?
The Forerunner with Forrunner.
Okay. I'm just curious because I was like, mine has a name and I didn't know if yours did.
Yeah, no, I never named it. It just never I always would come up with something and then it just never stuck.
Right. So you said you did a wheel bearing. You did oil change.
Yeah, I have to do a front wheel bearing again.
Again?
Like, yeah, again. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, my driver's side wheel bearing failed. I can't drive my truck right now.
Oh my god, dude.
And the black truck won't start. I'm doing great, man.
What?
It's starting up with issues again, though?
No, it just straight up won't start. It refuses. I think the starter went out.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, things are great, man.
All right. You know what? I see the appeal behind third gens visually, but I'm telling you mechanically, I don't know why, but they are meant to be shit boxes.
Okay. So here's the thing though. Both of these trucks have over 250,000 miles on them.
Yeah, brother is Stockholmed apparently.
The black truck had the ever-loving shit beat out of it before we got it. Mm-hmm. And I beat the ever-loving shit out of mine.
And then he beat the ever-loving shit out of it in New Year's, too. So. And now he's like, it won't start.
No, the black one beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of Alex. He's like, I seen what you did to my cousin.
Yeah, I need to... I haven't decided if it's actually a starter problem or if the cable going down to the starter has an issue. But when you turn the key, nothing happens. All the power's there. Huh? Yeah, nothing.
Did you tap on the starter? It's been cold. You probably sunk the starter in one of those puddles, and now it's just freezing up.
Oh, it's been cold. I just let the truck sit there because it's too cold to work on it.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna like, man, if only I had someone with a bay, but then their bay is limited hours, so it's like does it even count? It's not.
Yeah,
sucks. Stupid winter hours.
And then I've also been working like 13 hours a day because my farmhand decided to break a feed line.
That's so dramatic. Feed line.
He just broke a feed line and decided not to come to work the next day. No big deal.
That's fair. I'd do the same thing if I broke something crucial to operations. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm out.
No, I'll in case he's listening, I'll give him some credit. Him not coming to work this morning was not his fault. Completely.
Yeah, because he cut the brake lines on the guy's car, and that's why he couldn't show up. He's in a ditch.
Yeah. I took him out. It
was not his fault. I caused the issue. I'm the reason. No, I so while you had I guess you did some maintenance on your truck, and now you have another wheel bearing. What about you, Mark? Did you get any Christmas presents for your baby? The Silverback?
Silverback. I was calling it
Wait.
Silverside.
Oh,
We didn't even
Silverside?
talk about my $200 Icon shocks.
Hey, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't know if you wanted to. I thought
Yeah,
this is still under wraps.
I mean, it is because they're 5th gen shocks and I have to convert them, but it's like $100 to convert them. Yeah, so I got 6 Icon shocks, 3 coilovers, and 3 shocks for $200. Out of the 6, there's 1 that leaks. So I mean, that one will have to be rebuilt. The other 5 seem fine. One of them's brand new in box. So there will be a Icon shock install wrap-up episode coming up soon.
Yeah. You know, I'm such a glass half empty kind of guy that I just see the problems before they start. And all I can say to Alex and all the other listeners out there is like, I hope it works so well for you. But when I hear this stuff, I'm like, 3rd gen issues. Like
Hey,
just one of
Shane
those
doesn't
things.
have issues.
Shane doesn't beat the shit out of his 3rd gen, man.
See, it's not a 3rd gen problem. It's a me problem.
It's a user error.
3rd gens shouldn't be beaten. That's if you want a 3rd gen, you have to treat them right. You have to finesse them a little bit. Get her chocolates, get her flowers, do oil changes every once in a while.
I mean, to be fair, I really didn't have any issues for a year, and they all happened at once.
Yeah, as soon as I met him, like just shit started happening constantly.
Yeah, before that, I beat the shit out of it every weekend without a single problem. So,
yeah, you know what? I wish I could believe him so much. I really do. But
Mark,
all I've seen,
Mark,
he's he's paid actor. It doesn't count because he's been in botches beforehand. He's a paid actor. I just joined botches this year, and from what I've seen, 3rd gens have been nothing but problems. They're gorgeous problems, though. Yeah, I mean, they're gorgeous problems. They're beautiful vehicles.
I mean, it goes places usually.
Yeah, so do Subarus. That's like literally their motto.
It doesn't get stuck that often. It does get stuck, but not that often.
Yeah, I'll give it that. It does have a winch.
Oh, okay.
No, it does. It goes a lot farther into places where I just take the bypass. Because to me, it's like it's not about the actual obstacle as much as it is making it out of it. So I'm like, hey, yeah, like I'll take that obstacle before it even goes. I got hit with the poker run, and I won't go too far into it so we don't spoil our next episode.
I must say that was quite the show.
Yes, but I won't spoil it too much. But I'll say this, that we didn't have Nav from Alex, which we were hoping to have. So Sienna and I did Nav and led the group, and I tell you what, that meant that I was supposed to be the tester, the puddle tester, the obstacle tester.
Was that your first time leading?
Something that difficult, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you did good, man.
I've led multiple times, but you know, like I did the cryptid and stuff.
Yeah,
I've led little trips multiple times, but nothing. One, not in an actual event like that, and two, something that had such difficult obstacles in it. You know, like holes that were just fucking 2 foot deep.
I forgot
like you're just driving into a fucking lake.
I forgot we didn't take you through all that ever the first time.
No, we backed out. So yeah, we backed out. I was like, dude, what the fuck? We could have done that for hours. I was having such a good time with that water. But now looking back to how bad the water was this last time we went, I couldn't imagine the lakes that were there from the water. I mean, the water was that bad. Straight
that one
downpours.
Part, if you remember that one trail, I told you, I'm like, man, I don't know if we should go down there. Like, there's a mud hole down there that is just fucking terrible. And it wasn't nothing today, this trip. But usually,
where I got stuck at, I saw everyone drove through. I'm like, I guess we could have done that one, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I seen other people drive through it too, and I commented that on Mark. I was like, man, we could have went through that, no problem. What the fuck? So, well, we learned it, and like I said, we won't spoil anymore from the poker run because well, I guess we can spoil it, but we won't
Yeah.
because this. See,
Yeah,
we
can
all got
talk
into
all
it now.
about it.
Yeah, but we won't because this is still a 30-minute episode,
Yeah.
and I guess now that we got past Alex's shock reveal, which is going to be
Shocker.
really good. Shocker. It's going to be really good. Mark, we're going to move back to you again.
Yeah.
Did you get any Christmas presents for your baby Silverback?
I call it Silverside, but
I know. I think Silverback is just going to be my nickname for her.
yeah, I debated about Silverback or Razorback for a while, and I'm like, how about I call it Silverside, like the submarine?
If you do, oh, dude. Okay, so do a delete on any of your 4x4 stuff on it and do Navy style lettering on the side. Like
USS.
what is it? USS?
Yeah.
4x4. That would be
USS
so cool.
Silverside.
And then rivet that on to your fender. That would look so cool.
No, paint it on like the Navy does.
Ain't it? Yeah, and then you have to have one of those pinup girls on the back.
Hell yeah. Dude, I
Dude,
love
that
this
would look
plan.
cool as fuck.
It
Oh,
would.
and in the front, you gotta have that mean fucking that torpedo fucking mount?
No.
What is that?
No,
Is it?
no, he's
I
not.
like that.
That's Air Force. That's Air Force, buddy.
Yeah, I don't care.
Some submarines did it, though. I mean, I'm thinking that
I'm thinking more of the
down
planes,
Periscope,
but I just thought it was cool. I just think with all the where he's going with this, and you can do a periscope.
Oh my god. And it could be a functional periscope so we can see up and above the trees
Yeah.
what's in front
With
of
a-
me? I can't see over this.
with a mesh-tastic node on the top. So if we need distance, we just
The periscope's just gonna be like an antenna with a 360 camera that he can look at from the inside of his truck and go,
right.
okay, I can see what's coming up in front of me. Like I can see all the obstacles around me.
Oh,
That'll
that
be
would be
cool.
funny.
But did you get anything for her?
I mean, I guess you want to call it. I got it. Bicolor headlights.
Oh
bulbs.
yeah. Yep.
Dude, those things are sick.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for those. Mark shared a link for me. I want to switch to projectors someday, and he shared what his do. Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
talk about what she's getting this week.
Yeah, I was getting there. I was getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of instance of the poker run, I'll not disclose that until then. But I have finally got around to it. I am putting on Apex deflators onto my rims and tires.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you doing the screw-ons, or are you gonna have them put on?
What Alex has.
Same thing's mine. The real one.
I was looking at the screw-on ones, and I'm like, I could just screw them on and take them off, and it'd still be faster than doing the regular deflators. And I'm like, because we were looking at them while I was waiting for my Christmas upgrades.
Mhm.
So I was like, interesting. So that's very exciting, though. Those deflators are really nice.
Mhm.
Maybe we a new compressor soon.
Yeah.
That is in the works. That is definitely in the works, especially
Yeah.
after the incident.
Because now my compressor is broken
Oh, that too.
again.
By the way, how are you going to get my truck over there?
I'm going to take the W11 and put the shop compressor in the bucket, and I'm going to air it up to 150 psi, and then I'm going to drive the W11 with the shop bucket to your truck, and then I'm going to air up as many tires as I can and then plug it in again.
Where? What is going on?
I have two of my wheels are constantly leaking. They're flat. They're like there's nothing holding air.
Oh, from the D bead?
Right.
No. Well,
Well,
yes,
no,
but
not just that.
not just from that, but off-roading in general. My tire's been went through hell this last week.
So he's got two tires that have dirt in the bead and are leaking air.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's at my house with two flat tires, and the air compressor on the 4Runner is broken.
When do you need it?
I don't need it yet, but it needs to get to the shop to get everything installed.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna call Gavin and have him come by and air it up.
I was gonna say I could legitimately do that, especially if it's this weekend because I have this weekend off.
Well, I'm hoping we'll know tomorrow when I can make an appointment, but I'm hoping either Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. See, I mean, Mark, we were talking about this earlier about guy math. Because you were like, well, my tires are debeating a lot, and I should probably get those fixed. And while they're there, I should do these inflators at the same time. This is guy math, And then what else? You got anything? You got the headlights, you got deflators, maybe an air compressor in the very near future.
Very near future. I also really need to get to my rear brakes, but
gosh, yeah. I know. That's like you have front ones, so why do you need rear ones? I get that.
I've been going this long without them. Do I really need them?
I understand. Dude, I did that with my Scooby too.
Worse.
Your pedal goes to the floor, and then your rear end keeps pushing the front end across the ice.
Yeah.
You need to do them.
I do.
Yeah, but the lights were really cool though. I do feel the need. Lighting actually lighting is pretty important. I will say that.
Oh yeah. I don't remember, it's been bugging me for the last little bit, but the other night Alex like, are your headlights doing anything for brightness? I'm like, you know what? I think it's gotten dimmer. Like ever since I bought this truck, it's just been worse and worse. And one night, like, all right, I need to get headlights.
Is that the conclusion to your upgrades this year so far?
So far, yes.
Yeah,
we got
as it's only
talks. Me and Alex have talked about something, but I don't want to put anything out there about that one.
Oh yeah,
what?
Keep that quiet.
When you put things out, it tends to jinx things. I tell you.
Yeah, right.
So we'll move on to mine because this will tie in a little bit. But I mentioned lighting. I added some lights. Sienna was nice enough to get me one of the things that I asked for Christmas, and she got me a switch, like an off-brand Oxbeam switch panel. And I got that installed, got some ditch lights that she got me installed, and holy shit. You don't realize like how much ditch lights actually like make your life better at night. Like when you're out on the trail, but holy shit, it's like, oh my god, I can see everything around me now. It's nice.
They also scare deer off real well.
Yeah.
I have a hard time just driving on normal roads without my ditch lights.
Oh, it's crazy. And it's one of those things that before, I didn't really notice, but then when I turn them on, it's like, holy shit. It's like, it's almost like someone taking the blinders off of your vision.
Yeah.
And then you're being able to see your peripheral. It's like,
if I drive someone's car that doesn't have ditch lights just on a normal road, I feel like I can't see anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost gives me, it almost makes me nervous now to drive without them. Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't know how I made it this far in life without them.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. So I'm really, really stoked about this panel because it's made wiring lighting in so easy.
For sure.
So easy. Like now I just need to run the wires straight to the panel now. I don't have to run them back to a switch, back to blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Just straight to the panel, pick a button, and push it. And that's it. And it's so nice because I have a light bar that I've had just sitting in my room that I just didn't feel like wiring up, that I'm going to wire up soon. I just bought some lights from Joe, Gladiator Joe, if anybody's from MST's listening. Just bought
40
some pods.
Gladiator on Instagram.
Yeah, 40 Gladiator on Instagram, but Gladiator Joe. During the MST event, we bought them from him. And so those are LED pods. So I'll have those and the LED light bar that I'm going to hook up here soon once I find a warm time or spot to do it.
What pods did you buy from him? What brand are they?
They're, I think, LasFit Pro.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't hooked them up to everything, but, Joe's good for it. I didn't really need to.
Yeah, he wouldn't sell you junk.
Right. So, which I've learned again here soon. I'll talk about. But so I got the aux beam, like their triangle pods for ditch lights, and those work pretty well. And it'll be really nice because now I can flash people when they flash me, and they actually see the sun this time. So
I've been so tempted to do it a couple times. Like, you really don't want to turn your brights off?
Don't fuck with me,
dude.
Yeah.
I do it to people because I'll just driving. They always think my lights are bright, so I get flashed all the time.
Yeah, mine too.
So I started whenever someone does that, if they then turn their brights on, I turn my light bar on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to be able to just put it on. Yep. You want to see the sun? Fine. So
yeah.
But my headlights are something that I'm trying to upgrade soon. I talked with Mark and Alex about this a little bit, and I'm probably going to move to projectors. And we found a pretty cheap kit on Amazon that's doable, that if my wife loves me enough, that she'll let me get, and we'll make that move. Yeah, and then my other Christmas gift, which I guess she turned into a birthday gift instead, was after our poker run, my one driver's side tire, after I took the picture of it leaking and sent it to the guys, I actually saw that there were actual rocks and mud in between the bead and the rim, and I could see them in there. I couldn't dig them out. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to get them replaced anyway. And I was talking about that, then talking about maybe getting new tires at some point. And then, of course, Gladiator Joe comes in with like, hey, man, I got a deal that you just can't refuse. And then he lets me know he's got like 5 brand new 285 17s Falcon Wild Peaks for sale. And he'll take I think he said $800 for them. And I'm like, fuck, I'll go and look up the price of them. And they're like $300 a piece. And for 5 of them, it's almost like $1,600. And I'm like, I'd be stupid not to. I screenshotted all of it, sent it to Sienna, and I start really breaking down the math of it for her. I'm like, it's only going to be like this much for this and this much for that. And if I have to have the shop take my tires off anyway, I might just have them switch over, and it would make sense to really do it right now.
Off.
I know this is exactly why it ties into the guy math thing that me and Mark were talking about.
Yeah,
because I was like, well, they only have to take one off, but if I'm going to take one off, I should take them all off, and so after that conversation with him, and I'm like, man, it's just too good of a deal. And Sienna's like, well, it would be a birthday present. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I've been wanting to move up to 285s for a long time, and I keep talking about it and not doing nothing. And this is just such a good deal. Yeah, such a good deal. And so I went up and he worked with me to try to get them. I have to bring him the actual wheel back because he gave to me all of them, even the one with the wheel on it, because I had to get it all done by Saturday. So I left was like Saturday morning, picked all the tires up from Cooper's Hudsonville, and then ran all the way straight to Never Enough, and then straight to Never Enough in Sienna's car. And we switched cars. I drove the FJ, she drove the car, and we backed up to Never Enough, dropped the tires out, then we had them switch it. And okay, well there's mud on your tires. Can you take it to the car wash across the street and wash the mud out? I'm like, I thought I fucking already did. So I do it to try to do it again, and then apparently I didn't get all of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not laying on the fucking ground. Like, just scrape it out. Charge me the extra, whatever. So they scraped it out, and then they're like, oh well, by the way, your spare tire, my spare tire, the new tires are so big that they were hitting my bumper when mounted just normally. So they had to find a spacer, and they found like a Chevy spacer that fit. And they're like, well, it's like $40 for the spacer. And I look at Sam, I'm like, well, we're already in the hole. Let's keep digging. And I'm like, they're like, or we can put it back in your car. And I'm like, well, I mean, what the fuck? If I don't do this now, Like I'm gonna wait and wait and wait, and then I won't have a spare
Right.
tire. So I'm like, just do it now. And so they put this Chevy spacer on there. And then they're like, well, one of your threads is fucked up in the back. And I'm like, what? You know what? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like at this point, like it's getting to 12 and I got to go to work soon. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, just fix it. And so it ended up being a little bit more than we thought, but we got all wheels on. The spacers on the back, and I got my other wheel on. They're like, hey, you know, you might not want to do this long term. And I'm already like it's $300 for the fucking for the kit to relocate it. So I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be there for a little bit. It's low on my list. So yeah, I mean,
what's the worst that the spacer would do? Bend your door? Oh
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I could definitely hear it. I could hear the back door area just like when I hit bumps now.
Oh god.
Yeah, I could hear that a little bit more.
Just de-weld it.
I will say that the Wild Peaks are really, really good looking on there. Really they look a lot more aggressive. The first I took it to a trail that night, and as I was telling Mark earlier, they ride so much harder than I was expecting.
Did you they're down?
No, not at first. I didn't. At first I didn't, and I was like, "Fuck, these things are hard." Like I'm feeling this, and they're a different load range too, so they're a little harder to puncture, I guess. But
are they load range E?
The one up, I forget whatever I think they are anyway.
So
that or they're just really thick. They're just that or they're just more of a thicker tire than what I'm used to as far as my all-terrains go. And so at first I was like, man, these are really hard. I tried doing an obstacle. If you're heading to Prairie and you take that low Y, like and it goes down that hill to where there's like a little trail. Do you remember when I took you guys up there and I climbed up that little fucking hill and up and down?
Yeah.
And well, I tried doing that one and I walked up that last time and I tried doing it again and just dug fucking ruts. Like it was just struggling almost to get up there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I kind of got irritated about that. I'm like, man, what these fucking tires suck. I just dug holes because they're so meaty. And then, so I backed up, put it back in low, and then crawled through it, aired down. And when I aired down to like 20 PSI. And then I'm like, that's better. And
yeah, because I run load range E's and I drive around on 40 PSI. But if I go on a trail at 40 PSI, one, I'm going to get the shit beat out of me. And two, it does not do very well. It just digs holes.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's what it was. And so now I'm like, fuck, maybe I should just drive on 20 PSI all the time. And, or 20, I think it was at like 24, 23, something like that. Just not, I mean, so I'm just driving around there and everything was better. My ride was better, smoother. I get on the road, my ride's better, smoother on the road. And I'm like, damn. And but also you get, when you air down, you get that little bit of shift when you drive, where your tires aren't completely aired up. You can feel a shift when you're steering and stuff. And I still feel the shift, and that bothered me. So I ended up airing up.
I don't think that I would run them below 30, like 33, 34. But on the road,
that's what they're set at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I would keep them on the road.
That's what my PSI was set at from Never
Enough.
So yeah, when I went to check, they were at like 34 or 35 when they were full, and then when I aired them down, I just aired them at 20. I'd be interested to see how low I could go with those, but I could tell you, like, comparatively to my old ones, the going down to even 20 was a major difference. Like, you could barely tell. And that's why I think I went up a load range from the old ones, because you remember I talked to you, I think, about it. When you're aired down, it doesn't even look like you're aired down. And when I aired down, it was like fucking like
yep, that's because
overflowing fucking muffin over the top is what it looked like to me. Like, and it's like, and now I think I'm there too. So
yeah. Because mine, when I air down, if I'm on semi-level ground, you can't tell.
Yeah, it was a little harder to tell with 20, but I would go about 10 on sand and then like 15 on just regular obstacles. Like just like poker run type stuff. And so I'm interested to bring it down to like 14 or 15 and see what they do.
Yeah, because I usually on trails, usually I'm about 15.
Yeah.
I'll go down to 10 if it's a really sandy trail. Like Croton to White Cloud, I will sit around 10 for that trail. Anything around the Croton area, that whole little section there, always 10 because it's so sandy.
Yeah, loose
Just
sand.
because you don't want to dig or what?
Well, one at 10, I have like I basically absorb all the bumps, so I don't really notice them. And
Yeah.
then also it doesn't dig as much.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering as far as because now mine are a little bit closer to what yours are, tread depth wise. So
Yeah.
that's why I was curious.
Hey, you're not quite as deep as mine. You're quite a bit not as deep as mine, but maybe like half as deep.
Wink.
Maybe a little more than half.
His is meant for grabbing mud, so his is
Mine.
Yeah.
Those mud trains are really deep.
No, mine are pretty deep for what I'm used to, but I don't know, man. They look good. They seem to handle really well so far on snow and stuff. So I'm excited to try them out. I'd like to go out this weekend, but we'll see. I don't know where to go anymore.
I think I'm done wheeling for a little while. I got to get some
ask if you want to
stuff.
do. I think it was Joe and Derek's birthday run at Rocks and Valleys again.
Yeah, I can't. I also found a new frame hole, so that's got to happen in the next couple weeks.
I forgot about that.
Man, so I was joking around with MST earlier, and they're like, "You're definitely part of the botches crew." I'm like, I'm like 60-40, like or 40. I'm like, I'm 50-50 in and out. And they're like, no, you're definitely in there. And I was like, well, you can't just lump me in with those guys because I do a podcast with them and I live close proximity. They're like, no, that's exactly why we could. But I only say that because I wheel with you guys probably 30% of the time I wheel.
Yeah.
And that's because there's either like we're all working, our schedules don't align, or there's someone with a break.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a third gen.
I went so long with ignoring breaks that now that they're popping up, it's like, fuck, man, it's broken again.
Yeah.
Why did I ignore this?
So while I am an active botches member, I am also probably almost equally active MST. I think if they were to start a podcast, I would love to co-host a podcast with MST.
So the thing is, the MST isn't a club or anything. Like we're a club. We're
we're an actual group. Yeah.
So the way we look at it, MST is a place for individuals and groups to get together to make trips.
Yeah.
But they're not a group. Are they an awesome tool for the community? Yes, 100%.
Oh yeah.
See, I kind of see him as almost a group at this point because I don't see it. Yeah, I mean, I see them. I would say, for me, the way that I treat them and look at them as a group, I would say this is a club because it has a certain amount of members, because we do what we do, because we, come and hang out and do this stuff. But like
the general MST chat the one that you're in.
Yeah,
that I would say is more like a fan club, and then there's a core MST group that does a lot more stuff. Just them. That little group I would consider a club.
Yep.
They have their own separate chat and everything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I would say that feels like a fan club, but it's weird. But
because they're really not a club, like.
Well, I don't think they're a club. I think they're a group.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like
I
think
you're for the pores.
No, like they have like the Jeep clubs and stuff like that. They have their own little, or like motorcycle clubs, with their own little patch and stuff. That's how I think of botches. It's a club. I don't think of it as a group that we like. I don't think of it as a group that we lead, like other groups, or we do like massive trail rides, or we do. Any of the other stuff that MST does. Well,
we do, but not very often. Not this year.
Because of I was gonna say because of that stuff that I mentioned previously, but also mostly the biggest thing, time. But
yeah, because last year we were the only, other than Derek and the core members, we were the only people doing rides. That we were the only one leading rides and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like for me, I
I
see.
think only a handful I can think of actually made events or was leading rides.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like I think if as much as I was active in it, like I would see myself as like I would say some kind of percentage in and out of that, and I would love for that to become something else too. I think MST has a lot of potential that has yet to earn or to hit. I think MST would be a cool podcast place too, and it would be the same but different. It's almost like hitting. It's like Walmart and Myers. Like they hit a different target. They hit, they would be able to talk a lot more user friendly overlanding. I think more than it would be more targeted off roading.
I don't think they ever would get to that point because of who. Sorry, Derek. Who the leader is. If you pay attention to they kind of do their live stream thing, and that's more the style that Derek would end up with all the time of just
I think they
neutral chaos.
I think they just need someone who would be like, hey, I'll pilot this. I'll champion this.
I tried.
Right. But I think that's what they need is like an admin or something to go, hey, I'm going to start doing this. Let me know if you guys want to come in and just do it like once a week or,
But I think, Jeep Derek, he made the comment, they're not as big of fans as the podcast style because they like their big thing's the community involvement where the community, can talk back as they're doing it, which there's a way to do that podcasting. And I've tried to explain that, but
yeah. And you want to do it easy and stuff. I get it from their point of view too. I think
just
podcasting,
fall back to Facebook.
Yeah. And I think that podcasting has a way to get out there. And then they send in questions and you read them on the next podcast, and it's just fuel for the next fire. Well, yeah, live streaming is cool
because
too.
The cool thing with podcasting 2.0 is we have the ability to just put a live podcast out and it'll show up right in the podcast app.
Oh yeah, yeah, and so I mean, I feel like there's room to grow there, especially with the events that they put on. I would say that the poker run event was super cool, and it could definitely have some improvements. But for the first annual one, it was like, this is really cool. I've never done anything like this, and
I feel like fun. The poker run was a step up on their event content, if that makes sense. Because before, they lead group rides, which are fine. But this was the first time that I feel like Derek reached out and did something different, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think MST appeals to almost a different group than what I think the botches originally would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think MST is, and I don't mean this in a weird or bad way or anything, but it's more of a beginners group as far as doing the overlanding, camping, and trails, whereas botches has a little bit more specifically into the off-roading and the challenge aspect to it. Is that safe to say?
And we're picky. Yeah. We're not just going to accept anyone.
Too.
Well, right. But I think that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of half and half is because I do like a little bit of what we do for the botches is, as far as the trails and stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm very much interested and would love to do something with the newbie overland and just the general large population of the overland community. And I just think it would be really cool as far as, just engaging with different gear talks and different types of tours and stuff like that they do. It'd be cool content.
I think it could very easily be cool content. Like I said, I tried to get the Dereks because it's Jeep Derek and Lexus Derek, But I tried talking to them about it a little bit because I think that a podcast makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, me too.
I think that their personalities don't really fall into the want to sit here and talk about shit for an hour without being interrupted.
Right. Yeah, I suppose. I think that there's definitely something there for it, but I just, like I said, I think they need to have the right push for it.
Yeah.
And to actually want to do it more than just a hobby too, because at that point you're doing it for more than just a hobby.
Yeah.
Speaking of other things that are changing, I talked to Cindy Pope last night about possibly putting Northology on RSS so that it just auto downloads rather than having to download it from your email.
You should have Cindy Pope talk to us about having Northology on the podcast as far as a sponsor.
You know, maybe we got another one of those little sponsor things that we're kind of working out.
Wouldn't that be so cool to have Northology as on there? That would be really cool.
It would be cool.
Now, what would be really cool is if the listeners would just boost in so we don't have to look for sponsors. So we don't have like 4 minutes of commercials.
Honestly, I would really enjoy actually going into one of Cindy Pope's articles and just reading an article from one of her overlanding, like specifically an overlanding.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be cool?
Actually be a really cool like commercial per se. Is not so much a commercial, but just every episode have a segment where we read something. Or not every episode,
right?
Like once a month, we read one of the articles from that month's magazine. Anyone listening, look up Northology. Cindy Pope does some amazing things. I know we've had her on here before.
Yep.
But her online magazine is the bee's knees. I read it every month.
Yeah.
After downloading it and putting it on my e-reader because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. But yeah, I think adding that on there, and then I think doing just like if she has a section on overlanding the Keweenaw, for instance,
yep,
we read the section out loud, and then we talk about it that specifically about overlanding
this last
the
month,
whatever.
Yeah, this last month she had an article about like the top 5 adventure destinations in the Midwest. That was a really fun read.
Yeah, so stuff like that we could do, and I think that would be really interesting. That adds some spark to our podcast a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Give someone a little bit something else, and maybe
I also
can listen in.
I want to start doing at the end of every episode, which we'll start this. Okay, you'll have already heard one.
Yeah,
because we'll start it on the episode that comes out before this one. I want to start doing the radio chatter cards.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would
get out of my
really
truck.
Cool. Yeah, I need to do that.
I don't even know what these are.
So radio chatter.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a game where it's a conversation style game where I read a card and then you answer the card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun one to do, like Radio Chatter Monday or Radio Chatter Sunday, or like maybe we do one like a 30-minute Radio Chatter every other week or so.
I think just having one card at the end of every episode would work really well. We have the extended deck for the NSFW stuff too, so that's fun.
Okay, we could do like a Radio Chatter for 1 hour. Yeah.
Not for these half-hour ones, definitely not. But like the 1 hour ones,
this is much longer.
This conversation's going so well, we may as well go for an hour. Cool, you're getting extra content on Sunday.
Yeah,
but yeah, I really think that Radio Chatter, it's a tool that's there for us, and it's a really fun tool. So that'd be another person to talk to about sponsors, I guess.
Chatter radios,
Radio Chatter.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
sounds like my son's being a beluga whale in the background.
I don't heard that. So
all I hear is.
Did not hear that. Sorry for the cough.
No, my son, which brings back, I have to talk about this for a second. He's done so well with this overlanding off-road stuff. It's been great. He's been basically, and this sounds really bad, but he's been basically raised in the car seat while we've been doing this, and that sounds horrible, but it's not as bad as it sounds. He's while we're on the trails and we're taking real slow trails that are very safe, everybody. So just cut the bull crap.
No, you don't do it. It's
yeah.
DNR. He's saying a hypothetical.
Yeah, no. I'm the
your kid
safety
has a
officer. My kid has a ball. He's unstrapped. He's just hanging around in the car. Like, we just pretend like it's the 70s and he just crawls all over the place. No, he and this last time, this was the first time in ever that he stayed in his seat the entire time just to watch. And this was the coolest watching him, because we'd get out. Like, when we got stuck, he's out watching us, and he's just leaning over the side of the seat like,
Did Sienna get a picture of that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You should send that to me, so when I do chapter art, or maybe I'll even use that for the episode.
Well,
picture.
she got the picture of him up in the front seat while I was out grabbing our radio.
Oh my
no,
God.
he was grabbing the radio. He was trying to talk to you guys, and so he's done so well. He did so well. He slept for a good part of it, and then when he did get up, he was just all about it. I tell you what, man, it's a great feeling to see it. And then, the other day, he actually got into his car seat in the house, got into it, stood in it, and did the sign for more. Like, he wanted to go on more rides. like if you didn't look at him and you didn't know what he was about, you'd be like, what are you talking about? But the fact that he got in his car seat, which we only put him at if we go on rides, and went more, I was like, dude, you want to go on more trails? I'm like, fuck yeah, I can't tell you no. And so it's just really cool. It's really cool seeing him grow up there. And
I don't think I've ever seen that kid unhappy on a ride. So
no, he has his moments. Obviously, every kid does, but he's just been such a joy to watch grow up this year. And we have like a fireplace in our living room, and it's been so cold these past couple days that we've actually took the cover off it that we have there to keep him out, because we were kind of scared of him going in it. And he sees the fire now. It's like he's at camp, and he just stays away. He just doesn't do anything with it. Like, he's seen fire so much because of all of our camping this year that it does nothing for him anymore. He doesn't try to get into it. He doesn't try to fuck with anything in there. Like, it's like he's just like, oh yeah, there's a fire, and like walks away. And I looked at Sienna and I'm like, oh, what did we create? This is so cool. Like, our kid doesn't want to jump into the fire pit. Like, what are we doing? This is awesome. Like, so it's been really cool. I've just kind of been thinking back about it since we started the new year, and I guess I get my 30th birthday tomorrow, and it's like, man, where's all the time gone? So it's crazy. I had to talk about
30.
that though, man. Yeah. Dirty 30.
Old fucking man.
I really feel like it though, man. I'm like, definitely been looking back at my life a little bit lately, and I've been like, I can get my shit together. Not the conventional way like everybody else might think, but like, dude, if I really want to do this wheeling shit, and I want to do what I enjoy doing so much, then I really need to find a job that helps me do it more. You know what I mean? And not restricts it. So, if anybody that listens to me, that works with me, is listening, don't tell. But I've been looking for other options. You always keep your eyes open. I've been looking a little harder lately because my job prior had weekends off, which made it very possible to just take $100 and go on a ride and camp for a couple days and come back. So,
I mean, I recently had an interview with a certain, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to jinx it, but a certain mesh radio company that exists in the world. are looking for a new sales guy, and I interviewed for it.
That would be really cool because you're
Wouldn't it?
definitely the guy to do it.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're definitely the guy that would be do it. You'd also get drafted right as you got the job and be like, God damn it.
I'm past that point. They can't just draft me out of the blue anymore.
Yeah.
I've done my time. 10
No,
years, man. I did 10 years of that crap.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, we liked you so much. We were going to have you come back and do a reunion tour. Like,
I mean, honestly, if they brought me back and brought back all my equipment that they have since replaced, I would be down because I miss using it.
yeah. No, it's just, my wife's been complaining about her job too and how much she hates retail. I hate retail, man. I firmly believe that retail at the store level is not to be done your whole life. Like it's not a life job. And it's so easy for me to get burnt out now.
Yeah, but you get to see me like once a week at least.
Barely
you missed
anymore.
me the other day.
Yeah.
I was there the other day and you were there, but I couldn't find you.
I was probably crying in the bathroom.
I don't miss working retail.
No, I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? I just want to work like IT or something in an office. I don't care that I don't work blue collar. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like after you get to a certain age, that whole blue collar pride thing goes out the shitter because you start getting old and you're like, once you
Does
work
farming counts blue collar?
Yeah. And then,
I love farming.
Right. But like once you work like a white collar job and then you're like, ooh, it's like getting into a Lexus after you've been driving a third gen for so long and then being like, wow, I have air conditioning. Wow, my shit doesn't break every time I get into it.
I worked a white collar job where I sat in an office all day, every day for almost 2 years. And I am so glad that I get to run a farm now.
See, that's for me. It's like I did a bunch of blue collar stuff because blue collar was like all entry level. They just treat you like dog shit and work you to the bone. And that was fine because I did it and it required zero experience. But then I'm getting older and I'm kind of realizing like, hey, working my ass off and making, less money than some of these other jobs where you could be sitting down or doing something less like I hate to sound like a lazy fuck, but at the same time, it's like I'm all about if I have to go to work in the first place, then why the fuck am I pushing myself so damn far to like overwork myself for less money than what I was making while I was sitting in a chair
and when I was
typing in data?
When I was in white collar jobs, the reason I like farming so much better is the white collar job is all fucking politics. You have to do extra to keep your job. You have I mean, it was terrible, dude.
Yeah, I could see being in certain white collar jobs that being like for in like insurance salesman or something. As a salesman, having
I was a manager.
that constant competition. But like what I was doing at the time, which was like an analytical like lab tech.
Yeah.
That was so nice. I could clock in, I put my headphones on, I do all the lab stuff. A lot of it's just like, hey, we need you to test 300 of these samples. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody leaves me alone. I put my headphones in, test 300 samples, put them into a spreadsheet and leave. And then come back the next day, do it again. And it's like, I loved that.
I did inventory control. And honestly, I loved the job. I just hated the how do I put this? The atmosphere of the job. Like the people I worked with were hot fucking garbage, dude.
Yeah.
We had this one woman who I not 100% sure she was a woman, but whatever. She was a woman. And she would just get in my face and scream at me. And it finally got to a point where I snapped on her.
Yeah, I don't know that I could ever do something where they're actually doing that.
That kind of shit? Fuck no.
Yeah, see, my white collar job was nothing like that. It was like, oh my God, hey Gavin, so glad to see you. Like, what are you doing today? I'm like, this is what I'm doing today. And they're like, oh my God, this is great. Thanks. That was it.
And mine was like a war.
And I think that's the difference is you just have to find the right one.
Right.
And I'm not convinced, but if I want to start I don't know, how investing in my future a little bit more as far as like what I want to do for the rest of my life. I feel like IT would be like a really good middle ground if I could do some kind of eventually get good enough
Hey,
to do like a remote IT position.
I can help you get certified for that. I have lots of those kind of certs.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point, being able to do remote IT work for other companies or anything like that, that would be really freaking nice that you could do something like that from the road.
Yeah,
You know, I'm thinking of it like long term from, hey, what jobs can I do that I could do anywhere?
right.
It's kind of where I'm at because how I want to do it is I want to leave. I don't want to
We
fucking
just
stay
need the
around.
podcast to blow up so that we just have to do a podcast twice a week, and that's it.
I'd do one 4 times a week if that's what it took.
Fuck, I would do one every single
Every
fucking
fucking
day.
day. Every day.
If
What it
if
was?
all I had to do was sit down and talk to you fucks for an hour every day,
Yeah.
and then spend an
If
hour
all we had to
editing
do
it,
was
done.
if all we had to do was bullshit 7 days a week, we do
Dude,
that
so
already. We do that already. We just type it off into our chat. Fuck it. I'll bring it to life.
no, we should never release the botches chat to the public.
No.
After we get caught and the feds fuck us, the DNR fucks us or something, maybe they'll release the
They saw
chat.
some conversations earlier.
That
Release
is
the
why
files.
that's why the botches chat is on an undisclosed platform that is very locked down.
Yo, by the way, this is completely off topic, but have you seen that Sean Ryan podcast with Green Beret in
Nope.
reference to the Tesla bomber who was also a Green Beret?
No, but you should send that to me because I will definitely throw it on my Zune and listen to it.
Oh my god. First of all, Sean Ryan and I forget who she is, the blonde CSI, the CIA operative or whatever,
Is she
intelligence
hot?
operative. Nah. But
No.
the information that she has, oh my god, is fucking like eye-opening crazy.
Does
And then
that
this
make her
guy,
hot?
kind of the fact that what she knows, yeah. But then apparently this guy comes on to Sean Ryan, and the Green Beret that did this Tesla bombing thing,
Yeah.
sent this email to him on Proton.
Yeah.
You've heard of that, right?
Oh, I
Proton
know
mail?
exactly what Proton is.
Yeah. Which is what I have too. That's what my main email. And send it to him on Proton saying that there is a whole different story to what's actually going on. That he is actually working on some top secret propulsion system stuff for the US government, and that China has some kind of gravitic propulsion system that they've been working on, which is what we're seeing. And they're launching them out of subs in the Atlantic Ocean. And that's what we've been seeing lately. And that the US and China are both have gravitic systems that are, so like there's this long thing about that going on and like some war crimes stuff that were going into this letter. He then tries to, at the beginning of it, he identifies himself by, like what his first car was. So like there's this huge that just blew up overnight because it was basically him saying that, hey, he's being tailed by the FBI, he's being tailed by this, and he has these IED, the vehicle borne explosives in his car for a reason, trying to bring awareness to this stuff, but also to keep deterring from these FBI agents that are trying to fuck with him. So there's this whole fucking letter, and then they talk about how this guy was, a good Green Beret and stuff, like never had any really issues. So all this dropped here like last week, and then like 2 days ago, which after this dropped, it was an emergency podcast. After this dropped, Sean Ryan went radio silent, said he's going to be dropping out for a little while. And then
Jesus.
all of a sudden, that same guy that did this interview a couple days later, everyone's going, he does another interview with someone else, and he's like, it could be that he went off his meds or something. And he starts talking, he like switches up completely.
Okay, so like to be honest though, I have a very dear friend who may or may not listen to this. And when he goes off his meds, dude, the shit that comes out of that dude's mouth, it's off the wall.
So, and this is where I'm at is like, so do we believe that maybe, so there are some other people that were saying like, hey, there's no way this guy would have this kind of training or clearance to work on anything like this. Hey, gravitic propulsion systems are bullshit, blah, blah, blah. So do we believe that? Or do we believe that maybe he went off his meds? Or do we believe that this other guy was influenced so badly by some other, some other ghost forces out there that he was almost forced to switch up his thinking on it to try to backpedal people?
I don't know that there's a silent war going on between us and China. I wouldn't be surprised per se, but I do think that there's a lot of validity to the possibility that he went off his meds.
I think that too. I think that it's almost a split chance. You know what I mean? Because I think that, and I think a lot of people agree with this stance, is what we've seen that the government has compared to what they haven't shown us is hundreds, probably years, from what they actually have. You know what I mean?
So having, I had a top secret clearance up until like a year ago because it expired. I would say that in my experience and with what I've done, I would say the government has 10 to 12 years above where we're at technology wise.
So with that knowledge, like gravitic propulsion systems, to me, is believable. It's not like they were fucking with that shit in World War II. I believe Germany was trying to figure out how to fly things.
I don't think that it's implausible at all. I
and
just don't think that we're in a silent war with China.
I think we've been in a silent war, but not in the way that people are typically used to wars. I think within tariffs, so he also ties in that balloon issue with China that happened last year, or whatever. He ties that in with the same surveillance network that these gravitic propulsion systems are also trying to that are also doing. So that balloon is tied to the same surveillance network that China is putting out with these propulsion systems, which, because they're manipulating gravity, they have almost an unlimited payload, which is an end all for the US as far as if anyone was to actually use them.
I mean, I want to die in space when I'm 80 years old, so I have faith that this is what's happening. Because again, how else am I going to get to space when I'm 80 years old?
I don't know, man. Ashes?
No, I have to be 80.
No, he needs to be alive. He wants
gun
to be alive.
to my head. Like I want to be staring at Earth from orbit when I pull the trigger.
I was gonna say, man, if you die sooner than that, I will have you cremated and we'll put you in a weather balloon.
After our friend Cody eats my finger, because that is our deal.
Okay, that needs to be talked about. As far as prior to death or cremation.
Yeah, it has to be prior to cremation,
because he can't do like the cinnamon challenge and just assume it's part of your finger.
Yeah, no, he has to.
He's just gonna take a spoonful of your ashes. Oh, sorry, I didn't get here fast enough.
He has to grill it on a grill and eat it like a rib.
I feel like it would still be good though. Like I'd try a bite.
Right.
If you, I mean, I already know all of our answers to this, but if someone was to give you guilt-free, cannibalistic, made a human food that was grilled, fully cooked, it's fully safe to eat, it's guilt-free, the person died and donated it, would you eat it?
So down.
In a heartbeat.
100%. It depends. What did they die of?
Mark, what about you?
I have no answers for this one right now.
He's like, you guys, what the fuck? How about this? It was in the 1920s. It was a girl who worked at a paint factory painting dials.
Nope, I'm good.
On watches.
I am good to go. I
So-
do not need that quick death.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, it's again that fucking ADHD of mine. I had to inform our today's youth of the radium girls, and how sad is that you have to inform people about that?
Dude, how sad is it that you have to inform people about 9/11?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, it's like 35, 40-year-old and then some teenagers. They're like, radium girls, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you kidding me? One of the worst this is like one of the worst in all US history that is widely known, like
I have a radium watch.
That's very special. But it's just like that business completely extorted these women. Right. And it's one of the worst examples of businesses doing that ever recorded. And the fact that they got away.
Yeah.
They made a law like what, in the 40s? Like, hey,
yeah,
if it's dangerous in the work environment, then you have to pay for it. All of a sudden these businesses stopped. But fuck, radium in the 20s, they were like, hey, take this for your kid. It'll make your kid stop kicking your belly. Well, yeah.
The radium girls, I don't look at it so much. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, they were extorted because they didn't get a very livable wage. But, you know, at the time, radium wasn't looked at as a dangerous substance.
I say that because when it was found out, not only did the company have examples of that already and chose to ignore them, they had plenty of stuff done and plenty of instances where this stuff was happening that they covered it up,
right?
And they chose to ignore it because they were making buku bucks on this. So,
but I mean, at the beginning, I don't think it was like, I don't think they went out to extort. I think they ended up extorting.
Yeah. I mean, with all things, even like lead pipes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, with all things, you do it in, like, you're honestly trying to make it better, but, you know, lead in pipes and asbestos in our walls and stuff like that. You always think you know everything until, you know, 40 years later, and all of a sudden smoking's fucking killing you. Like,
well, on that note, now that the world is ending and Gavin has told us how it will end, that's all from us here at Botches.
Yeah. Thanks for joining the last 15 minutes of Conspiracy Podcast with the Botches Off-Road Podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Later. Man, I hope next time comes soon.